Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us in this presentation, the top 15 questions of the CFA ESG certification. My name is Paulo. I'm going to be with you today. We are Alma Mundus, an organization focused on sustainable strategies and ESG, and we are also a prep provider for this certification. If you want to know more about our study solutions, please check the links below. So for the last two editions of the certification, we have run surveys, interviews, and hosted webinars with hundreds of candidates that we use to compile these top 15 questions. You can see the questions laid out here. We're gonna go in detail in each one of the questions, but before that, I would like you to subscribe, like, share, and comment this video. If you have any question, please leave a comment. We will answer all the questions as soon as possible. Now let's jump to question number one. And question number one is about the objective of the certification. The main focus is on analyzing and integrating material ESG factors into investment decision making. It is also used by non-professionals or non-investment professionals to understand ESG risks and opportunities. The second question is about the content of the certification. What does it cover? So here you have, if you are familiar with the book of the official book of the CFA ESG certification, you know that you're gonna have 9 chapters, and these 9 chapters are divided into 3 main sections. The first 2 chapters are an introduction to ESG and ESG markets. From chapter 3 to chapter 6 is the theory behind each ESG factor and the importance of engagement and stewardship. The last 3 chapters are dedicated to how to analyze, integrate, and report. We detailed the chapters per number of pages. We clearly can spot chapter 3, 7, and 8 with the ones with more pages, right? Each one of these chapters, 3, 7, and 8, has more than 70 pages. The book has in fact 550 pages, but we are only considering the content pages you need to study for the exam, so this is going to be around 450 pages. The CFA Institute provides a question allocation per chapter. So for example, chapter 1 will have between 4 to 8 questions in the exam, chapter 7 between 20 and 32 questions. Based on this allocation, we laid out a potential distribution of questions in the exam. It is easy to understand that chapter 7 is the most important chapter with around 29 questions in the exam. And based on our surveys, candidates identified chapters 3, 7, and 8 as the most challenging. So here you have an overall picture of the content of the certification, the number of chapters, also the number of pages you're gonna have to study, the most important chapters, and the most challenging chapters. And so this also provides you some insights to know which chapters you should focus the most, which chapters are the most important, and of course the ones that you should spend more time. Question number 3, entry criteria. In fact, in this certification there is no entry criteria, meaning everyone can apply. So it's going to be easier for investment professionals, but if you don't have an investment background, you still can apply for this certification. You still can study for ESG subjects, and a lot of people, a lot of our candidates don't have an investment background. They work in consulting, or they work in other areas and they want to know more about ESG and they are taking the certification. Of course, it's going to be easier for investment professionals, but it's possible to do it if you don't have an investment background. To whom is it directed? And this is related with the previous question. So mainly for investment professionals, however, it also fits professionals working in front and back office and other positions like wealth management, risk management, consulting, financial advice, sales and distribution. This is the main focus, but are professionals in other areas taking the certification too. Now, question number 5 about the cost. So the certification costs $675 and then you can incur in other additional costs. So the $675 provides you a registration fee, that is the access to the exam, and then the official book in a PDF format. If you want the book in a hard copy format, you will have to spend $135 plus shipping. If you need to retake your exam for some reason, you will need to spend $475. To reschedule your exam, you have to spend $30, but you need to do this 72 hours before the exam date. Okay, and these are the costs associated with the certification. Question number 6, pass rate and pass mark. So around 60% of the candidates pass the exam, and they need to have a mark in between 60 and 70%. Okay, to pass the exam, you need to have at least 60%. Maybe it's not enough, 60%, probably closer to 70%. It's going to be better. We advise the candidates that work with us to reach a minimum of 70% to 75% when they are practicing our question banks and mock exams, so we make their life easier when they get to the exam. Okay? What is the recommended study time? So here we have to divide between investment professionals and non-investment professionals. For investment professionals, 100 hours. For non-investment professionals, 130 hours. We advise you to use this information as a reference only. We have seen people without an investment background taking more than 130 hours, and that's okay. We noticed that it also depends on each candidate's quality time and conditions to prepare for the exam. So if you have to spend more than 130 hours, that's okay. Question number 8 relates to the timeline after registration. You will have a total of 12 months to do your exam after registration. Okay, so you pay for your registration, you're going to have access to the CFA Institute platform, and they're going to give you 12 months to study, to prepare, and to do your exam. The exam can be booked right after you receive your registration confirmation, but the CFA Institute recommends at least a month of study before booking the exam, but it's just a recommendation. What and when is the edition cycle period? We included this question here because there is a change in the edition cycle period. Edition 3, that is the current edition, will last until December 2022. Okay? The next edition, edition 4, will start in January 2023 and edition 5 in January 2024. This represents a change from previous editions that had their cutoff in October. The CFA Institute made this calendar cycle change to align the CFA ESG certification with other CFA programs. Question number 10. When and how can I book my CFA ESG exam? Candidates can book their exam right after they receive the registration confirmation, and they can do it through in 2 different ways, through test centers or remotely. Okay, you can do it in a test center or remotely at home, in your office. So the test centers will be open every working day from Monday to Friday. The remote option is available from Monday to Saturday. Okay, you should always check if there are available dates for each one of the options. Question number 11, is it available globally? The certification has already a global presence, but it is not yet in all the markets. The CFA Institute is introducing this certification on a market-by-market basis. So probably next month we're going to have more markets available, but candidates will need to check if their country is included. For example, mainland China is not yet included. Okay, so we will leave a link in the description where you can see the list of centers available, and also a link with additional information for the remote option. Okay, so you can check that too. Question number 12, what is the level of difficulty? To talk about the level of difficulty, we're going to compare the CFA ESG certification with other certifications. So it's going to be the same level of the IMC Investment Management Certification. That is level 4. So, and it's going to be easier than CFA 1. So CFA 1, CFA 2 and CFA 3 are level 5, 6 and 7 for the CFA Institute. CFA ESG certification is level 4. So compared with the CFA 1, the CFA ESG certification requires less reading and no calculations are needed to answer the questions in the exam. However, even though it is easier than the CFA 1, it's still a CFA certification. It follows the CFA high standard, so you will need a study plan, a lot of commitment, and a lot of practice. Okay? Question number 13. How do I prepare for the exam? So the CFA ESG, the CFA Institute provides you a book and in a PDF format and a mock exam. Many candidates look for additional study solutions to prepare for their exam. They don't think this is enough. And we offer a complete set of study solutions that candidates can use from day 1 to the exam day. Okay, we offer from free study solutions, our webinars, our free sample mock exam, individual study solutions like question banks and mock exams, and also our study platform that is a complete study solution. We will let me show you a little bit more about the study platform and what you're gonna get in the study platform. So this is the layout of or the dashboard of the study platform. We have a study framework that we advise our candidates to follow. We have study recommendations and exam tips, and then we have question banks for each one of the chapters so you can consolidate knowledge while you are studying each one of the chapters. We have a mock exam. We have study summaries per chapter. We have a media center that includes videos that complement the readings in the most important subjects in each one of the chapters. We have a community center that basically is formed by current candidates and previous candidates that already passed the exam, so you can form your study group, you can ask questions, you can provide insights, you can have the opinion of someone that already did the exam. So this is really our way to build our community around the CFA ESG certification. And we also have the option for tutoring sessions. If you have a specific subject that you are struggling with, you can have a session of 30 minutes or 1 hour. You choose that. It's an option that we give, and some candidates are using this when they are struggling with specific subjects. Okay, this is just an overview. Let's go to the last 2 questions. We're gonna give a 10% discount So check the links below. You're gonna have a discount code that you can use. Take advantage of that. Now we're gonna go to the last two questions. What is the format of the exam? The exam has 100 questions. Each question is 1 point. So you're not going to be penalized if you failed one question. So let's say that you have 70 questions right in the exam. You're going to have 70 points. Okay? You're going to see two types of questions in the exam, standard and item set. The item set are divided into short item set and long item set. The short item set is basically 2-paragraph case, and you're going to have 4 questions associated to that case. The long item set is a page-long case with 4 to 5 questions. So you're going to have to complete your exam in 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it's plenty of time, don't worry. All the questions are based on the content of the book. No calculations are required to answer the exam questions, and therefore no calculators are allowed in the exam. Based on our surveys, time is not a critical component of this exam. The CFA Institute is focused on testing knowledge rather than how fast candidates answer questions. Time constraints are usually an issue raised by non-native speakers. However, in the CFA ESG exam, it doesn't seem a concern. And now let's go to our last question, and probably the most important, the one that everyone asks: is it worth it? So after working with hundreds of candidates and after doing the certification myself, in a short answer, yes, it is worth it. Our answer is based on 2 main drivers that you can see in the screen: knowledge and opportunity. Investment professionals will need to master real-world investing skills, and that includes ESG. I'm gonna go even further. To understand business models today, you will need to understand the ESG factors, and how they incorporate ESG factors in the business model. Okay? So mastering ESG knowledge presents an opportunity to meet the needs of clients who are demanding ESG considerations. So you have to introduce ESG to your skill set, and there is an opportunity, a demand for this skill set. And these are the 2 drivers that we present as an opportunity to do this certification. Okay, let me show you a little bit more data on the opportunity side. Here we can see the evolution of the number of signatories of the UN Principles for Responsible Investment, and also the assets under management of those signatories. From 60 signatories and 6.5 trillion under management in 2016, we arrived to 3,800 signatories and 121 trillion under management in 2021. So you need the knowledge, you need to know, you have to introduce the ESG factors in your skill set. And then the opportunity is out there. And so yes, it's worth it. Okay? There is demand for this type of skills, and you're gonna need this. I would say in the future, you're gonna need this to survive in business, to survive in the investment field. So this is our top 15 questions for the CFA ESG certification. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for being with us. Before you go, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. Leave us your questions in the description, in the comment, as a comment, and also check the links below for all you need to know about the CFA ESG certification. Thank you very much.